So Basavaraj NV, is it audible? Slides are visible now? Basavaraj, Trupti M.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah, fine. So we faculties are in the college and we are supposed to leave at 11:30. So what I thought was before we leave, let me finish the class. Of course, like we've been shortage of around 15 minutes. So for that reason, I have scheduled this class 15 minutes earlier. Okay. So without any delay, let us start with the contents. So last class we were seeing this particular figure. Like can I guess which figure is this? This is regarding the paging, where the page, so where the logical address, right, or the logical address space or the logical memory is be divided into equal size partitions, and those are called as what are they called? Hello, hello. Logical memory or logical address space will be divided into equal partitions. They are called as. Are there anybody? What are they called? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
The logical memory will be divided into equal partitions as in here, and these equal partitions, equal blocks, equal parts are called as, I'm asking, what are they called?
Pages.
Yeah, pages, exactly. Similarly, the physical memory or the RAM, right, or the main memory will be also divided into equal partitions, equal parts, equal blocks, and those are called as memory frames or the page frames or simply frames. Okay, yeah. So along with that, the process will be also divided into equal partitions according to the size of each and every page. Okay, yeah. And we have something called as a page table. So what is a page table? Basically, page table is a data structure whose main function is to help in the address translation. Address translation means we are supposed to convert the logical address into physical address. Why it is so? Because you cannot expect so these parts of the pages to be stored in the continuous manner or in the sequential memory addresses. Like as you can see here, so this page 0 of any process, right, that will be stored in the page frame 1. Similarly, similarly the page 3 of the process will be stored in the frame number 7. Okay. So the allocation of the memory space for these pages 0, 1, 2, 3 will not be continuous. Hence, we need to find the physical address for the logical addresses. So to help in this conversion of addresses from logical address to physical address, we will be in need of the data structure called as the page table. So where the page table will be having basically two entries. So the first column is referring to the page number and second column refers to what it is. Second column here, as you can see here, 1437 or what? 1437 are nothing but the frame numbers. Frame numbers, exactly. So according to this, like example, like given here 4 examples. Suppose if the logical address is 198, so where the higher order number will be indicating the page number and the lower order numbers will be indicating the offset. Okay, so then suppose if I have the logical address as 198, then what will be the equivalent physical address? Physical address will be 498. How come it is 498? As I told that, so this 1 is indicating the page number. So this page number 1 is being stored in which frame? Frame number 4. Okay, hence I have to look at the frame 4, and this 98 will be indicating the offset where I'm supposed to access the 98th byte of page 1 is available in the 98th byte of page number 4. Hence the page number 1 is stored in the frame number 4, and not to mention the offset remains the same, right? Okay, like in the numbers 198 and 498. So this higher order number 98 remains same, and this 98 is obviously the offset. Okay, second example. Suppose if the logical address is 258, then its physical address is.
358.
So this page number 2 will be stored in which frame?
3.
Third frame. Okay, third frame, and of course the offset is 58. Hence, I can add this 3 plus 58 is equal to 358. I mean, I can have the concatenation. Okay, not adding exactly. So I can concatenate. I mean, I can concatenate this 3 with 58 means the page number with the offset. Hence, I'll be having 358. Hence, I'm supposed to access the page. I mean, hence I'm supposed to access the frame number 3 and 58th byte in page number 3. Okay. Similarly, third example, if logical address is 254, then I'm supposed to access page number 2 and 50. I mean, his page number 2 is stored in which frame? Frame number 3. Hence, I'm supposed to access frame 3 and 54th byte available in the page number 3. And last example, if logical address is 358, then its physical address is. Hello?
758.
758. How come it is 758? Means as the page number 3 is stored in frame number 7, hence I'll be accessing the frame number 7 where this page 3 is stored, and of course the offset remains same. Hence I'll be accessing the 7th frame and 58th byte of frame number 7. Okay, I hope it's clear, right? So after this, yeah, so the same information is being conveyed using a diagram here. Okay, like with respect to the paging, how we can have the address translation in case of paging. So we have the CPU here, right? And we know that always the CPU will be able to generate what kind of address? Logical address. So this logical address generated by CPU will be divided into how many parts? 2 parts. One is the page number. Second part will be the offset, or also called as displacement. So in some book, the offset is been mentioned as displacement, where D stands for displacement, or we can call it as offset. Okay, so both are same. So this logical address will be generated by the CPU, where the logical address will be divided into 2 parts. One is the page number, and second one is the offset. So this page number will be given as input for one more data structure. So by name page table, again, not to mention, page table is a data structure whose main function is to help in the address translation. So this page number will be giving, so this page table will give us the information regarding the page number as well as the frame number. So for this page table, the input will be the page number, and the logical address taken example here is 254, where is 2 is, what is 2 here? 2 is indicating the page number. So this page number 2 is stored in which frame? So for example, frame number 7 I have taken. So this page number 2 of a process is stored in frame number 7. Hence, so this frame number 7 is nothing but F here, and the second part will be the same offset. Hence, the combination of frame number and offset, we call it as a physical address. Okay. So by having the replacement of page number 2 with the frame number 7 and concatenating the offset, right, I'll be able to access the physical address 754. Okay, somewhere in this location or in this area. Okay. So what you can understand by this is always the CPU will be able to generate logical address, which is divided into 2 parts, right? So the first part is page number and second part is the offset. Similarly, the physical address will be also divided into 2 parts. Those are frame number and the offset. And as you can see here, the offset remains same. Okay, like as I'm showing using mouse here, this 54 and 54 are same here. Offset remains same. Only we can have the replacement of the page number with the frame number. Hence the logical address 254, right? So the logical address 254, its equivalent, the physical address is 754. So you can take the help of this figure, or you can explain that using say this figure also. Okay. So both the figures convey same information. Yeah. So next thing. So next concept is the physical organization in paging. And heading for this can be also asked as physical view of execution of process P and R. So here we have got P and R are the two processes where the 6 page frames are occupied by the process P, like say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6 frames are occupied by the process P. And here, how many frames are occupied by process R? So we have the page table for R and page table for P. Like as you know that for each and every process, you will be having its own page table. And here, according to the figure, here we have 2 processes, P and R. Hence, you can find here 2 page tables, 1 page table for P, second page table for R. And as you can see here, like this is the main memory. So the computer's main memory of size 10 KB is there, right? How come it is 10 KB? Because we have the pages from 0 to 9. Okay, hence we have here the page frames are numbered from 0 to 9, and the size of each and every page is 1 kilobyte. Hence the computer memory is of size 10 KB, right? 1 into 10 is equal to 10 KB. Memory size is there, and you can have the storing of these pages of say so-called P0 and P1 and P2 and P3 and P4 and P5. So we have the storing of these pages of P and the pages of R, means 6 pages of P and the 3 pages of R are stored in the respective page frames, as you can see here. Okay, so by seeing this particular figure, so what you can gauge is, say for example, the page 0. Okay, so the page 0 is stored in which frame? Which page frame? Page frame 1. Okay, similarly the say page 1. Okay, so the page 1 is stored in which frame? Frame number 3. Are you seeing this? Okay. So what about page 4? Page 4 of process P, somewhere here, is stored in the frame number 7. Similarly, page 5 of process P is stored in the frame number 8. Okay. Suppose if I want to access some data, say for example, sample. Okay. Suppose if I want to access this particular byte of the frame 8 in the memory, okay, which belongs to the process 5, right? I mean process P, and page number 5 of process P, right, is stored in the frame number 8. And if at all like I want to access this particular location, how to access this? Okay, so for this, suppose if the logical address is 5128, and we know that the MSB, okay, the last bit always indicates what? The page number. Okay, so this 5 indicates the page number, means I need to access the frame where this page number 5 of process P is stored. And according to the diagram, so the page 5 of process P is stored in which frame? 8th frame. Okay, hence I'll be accessing the 8th frame. And about like how to access again this byte number or the byte count. So for this, suppose if I assume the byte count as 128, means the physical address will be of size 8th frame. Okay, 8th frame into the size of each page. What is the size of each page? Size of each page is 1 KB, where 1 KB is equal to 1024 bytes. Hence, I'll be accessing the 8th page, where 8th page size is 1024. So plus I need to add the byte number as well, right? Hence the physical address becomes how much? 8320. Hence the logical address of say this particular like area, right, can be accessed. Suppose if the area address is 5128, means I can obtain the physical address as 8 into 1024 plus 128, and that will give us 8320, where 8 is indicating the 8th frame, okay, in the memory. And along with this, I need to add, or I need to have the addition of the byte count as well, and the byte count is 128, say for example. Hence, this will give us the physical address as 8320, as you can see here. Okay, so like this is the bottom line of this particular figure. where we had the storing of different pages of P and R. Okay, and the main point here is, suppose if I see the allocation of the pages of the two process P and R. Okay, so what you can notice, important point here is the pages are not stored in the continuous manner. Is it right? The pages of P and R are not stored in the sequential way. Okay, they are so-called distributed, right? Okay, so we have random distribution or random storage of the pages of P and R process in the available main memory. Okay, hence we need to convert the logical address to the physical address. Okay, and what about this free frames? Okay, so we have, let's say whatever frames are not been allocated with any of the pages, okay, those will be maintained in the free frame list. So for example, the frame number 4 is not yet allocated with any page, hence the shaded area is the free memory space. Okay, having the frame number, what is the frame number of this free space? Frame number 4. Okay, right, hence this frame number 4 will be maintained in a separate list called as free frames list. Okay, so while loading the process for execution, our OS or our kernel will be able to consult this particular list, so-called free frame list, and allocates a free frame to each of the process. Okay, so you can have information regarding this figure, and also concentrate on the heading as well. The heading for this particular diagram, right, in your book is physical organization in case of paging, or physical view of execution of a process P and R, where we have two processes, where the size of process P is 6 pages, where process P is divided into how many parts, how many blocks, how many sections, how many pages? 6 pages. And process R is been divided into how many pages? Process R is divided into how many pages? Page 0, page 1, and page 2. Okay, so we have divided the process R into 3 pages, and process P is been divided into 6 pages. And accordingly, this particular data structure by name page table will be giving us the information regarding what? Regarding the allocation of frame numbers for each and every page. Okay, so you can have this particular information, as well as like a simple example has been taken here. So for this particular shaded area, suppose if you want to access this particular address, means suppose if the example is logical address is taken as 5128, means this 5 will be indicating the page number, means I need to have the access of this page number 5, which is stored in frame number 8, and to obtain again the offset or the displacement. So to access this, suppose if the byte number is 128, okay, let's say, means I'm supposed to access the 8th frame, right, whose size is 1024 bytes. So plus I need to add the byte count as well, so as to achieve the physical address as 8320. As simple as that. Yeah, same thing has been given here, like in terms of statement. So for performing the address translation for the logical address, like in terms of PI, BI. Okay, so where PI is the page number of the ith process, and BI is the byte number of the ith process. Okay, hence the physical address or effective memory address of 5128 is equal to starting address of page frame 8. So plus 128 is the byte number. Okay, hence we'll be arriving at 8320 as the physical address. Okay, yeah. So next concept is segmentation. Okay, so to understand the definition for segmentation, so please see here. So a segment is a logical entity in a program. Okay, understand this. Okay, suppose if I have any program or any process, means, okay, any program can be divided into so many small parts, where the small parts can be called a segment. Okay, hence a segment is a logical entity in a program, and an example for this logical entity can be a function, okay, or a procedure, or the use of logical and the use of local and the global variables, or a stack or arrays, And if I'm say like using some update function, means like it can be also called as the segment, right, of the program. Okay, so these segments are nothing but the logical entity in a program, right? And according to say like this particular figure, the segments, okay, various segments of this program or process Q are, say main is one logical entity and search is one more logical entity. And if I'm say using some update function, means update can be one more segment, and the maintenance of the database can be one more segment, and stack can be one more segment. Okay, so by seeing this figure A, right, like a process Q is having how many logical entities? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 5 number of logical entities, right? And when writing the program, so what programmer do is the programmer can declare so these 5 as the various segments involved in the process or program Q. Okay, and similar to the page table, okay, so we have something called as a segment table as well, where the segment table will be giving us the information regarding the name of the segment. Let's say for example, there is a main segment and data, let's say database segment and search segment, update is one more segment, and stack is one more segment, right? Along with the name, the segment table will also convey the size of each and every segment along with the starting address of each and every segment. Okay, so say from this particular figure, so what you can understand is the definition of the word segment. Okay, so where the definition is a segment is a logical entity in a program, means what? Let's say any program can be having so many small segments in it, or small so-called functions in it, where each and every function has got its own name, its own size, and the starting address of those functions. Like example for those functions can be the main function, search function, update function, database function, and say stack function. Okay, so now like so now let's say let us see the in-depth meaning of the segmentation. So the segmentation is nothing but the second method to implement non-contiguous memory location. And so what about the first method? First method, what we saw for implementation of non-contiguous memory location was, what is the first method? Paging. Okay, and second method to implement non-contiguous memory location is the segmentation, right? And segmentation is a memory management technique where the memory is been divided into variable size partitions or parts, and these individual variable size partitions or blocks or parts are called as segment. So the same statement with respect to the process, I mean, so-called paging context. Okay, what is paging? Basically, the main memory is divided into say fixed size blocks, right, or parts or partitions, and those are called as pages. So, but in case of segmentation, right, the segmentation is a memory management technique where the memory is divided into variable size, underline this word, variable size partitions of parts, where each part is called as a segment. Okay, each part is called a segment that can be allocated to the process. Okay, and the details of each and every part of segment will be stored in a separate table, so called segment table. This means that similar to the pages, you have a separate segment table for the segments available in the program. Okay, like in case of paging, what we did was we just divided the process into equal size partitions, and those are called as pages. Okay, so but this paging is more inclined towards, more favorable to the operating system, and this paging scheme or method is it's a less user friendly. Okay, I mean like this paging is more OS friendly, okay, than the user friendly. Means this paging is OS oriented than the user oriented. Means this paging is not that much compatible with respect to the user, and this paging is more compatible with the OS features, right? And the reason behind that is here we divide the process into equal pages regardless, okay, irrespective of the fact that process can have some relative parts or functions as well, which needs to be in the same page. So to understand this particular concept, like here I have drawn a simple figure where the process P like is been divided into how many parts? in the diagram, the process P is having how many components, how many pages?
3.
Yeah, 3 pages, right? So this P1 is the first component, P2 second component, and P3 is the third part of process P. Okay, so this like along with that, so page 1 has got instruction 1 and 2, and page 2 has got instruction 3 and 4, and so on. Suppose if I'm having the requirement that, so this instruction 2 of page 1 and instruction 3 of page 2 needs to be in a sequential manner for successful execution. Okay, means this is not possible. Why? Because instruction 2 is belonging to page 1 and instruction 3 is belonging to the page 2. Hence, so this so-called paging concept will not think about this particular aspect. Okay, so the main agenda here is to just divide the available process into so many equal size parts. That's it. And the right, and the paging concept will not say look into this relative parts where we need instruction 2 and 3 to be in the continuous manner. Okay, so for this reason we say that the paging is more OS oriented and less user oriented. Okay, yeah. So to solve this, what we can do is I can go for the segmentation process. Okay, where the segmentation is nothing but the second method of the memory management technique, so as to handle this non-contiguous memory allocation, where we divide the process into variable size partitions, variable size parts, okay, or variable size block, where each block, each part is called as the segment. Okay, and the details of each segment is stored in a table, and that table we call it as a segment table. Means almost similar to the page table for a page, you have the segment table for the segment, right, as seen in the like this figure it is. Okay, like in the figure, like the process queue has got here 1 2 3 4 5 segments, right? And for each and every segment, you have the name of the segment and the size of segment, as well as the starting address of these segment will be maintained in the segment table. Okay, and if I take the, so for example, the individual segments, say for example, update, if I take means, so this update, like update segment is being shown here. Okay, so this particular figure is indicating the logical view of a process, right? Okay, like our program queue. So where the program queue or a process queue is been divided into various segments. So for example, the code segment, the data segment, and the stack segment, and the extra segment, right? And for our example, like we have taken the address as 0000 to 1999 as the starting and ending address of code segment, and the starting address of data segment is 2000, and the ending address of data segment is 3999. Okay, so from this figure, like what you can understand is the whole process of a program will be consisting of so many segments of variable sizes, and each and every block we call it as a segment. Okay, so for example, like here, like what I've taken is here I've taken only the data segment, for example, okay, whose starting address is 2000 and the ending address is 3999. Okay, so for the address translation, okay, each logical address used in the process queue is in the form of SI comma BI. Okay, so what is SI here? SI is nothing but the segment number, and BI will be indicating the byte number within a segment. Okay, so the same syntax while dealing with the paging was logical address of each and every page was in the form of PI comma BI. Okay, right? Similar to that, the logical address, right? Each logical address used in the process queue will be in the form of SI comma BI, where this SI is nothing but the segment number and BI is nothing but the byte number within the segment I. Okay, and for simple explanation, the example taken here is the, like this individual data segment is been taken whose starting address is 2000 and ending address is 3999, and the logical address for this particular segment will be in the form of SI comma BI, where this SI is the starting address of SI, Okay, like what is that? Starting address of SI is 2000 and BI is nothing but the byte number or the offset. Suppose if I assume the offset as 50. Okay, hence by adding this 2000 with 50, I will be having the physical address as 2050. 2050 means I can access 2050 memory location. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So we can access this particular address 2050, right, in the segment, so by name data, having the starting address of 2000 and ending address of 2050, simply by adding the starting address of segment with the offset number or the byte number, okay, within the segment. Okay, hence I can arrive at 2050 means this particular location address I can access. Okay. Yeah, right. So again, the MMU will be using the segment table so as to do the address translation. Okay, suppose if get sample, okay, has the offset of 252. Okay, like in the segment update. Okay, suppose if I have a small area, right, of name get sample or address get sample, and if the, what is it? Yeah, right. So if get sample has the offset of 232 or the byte number of 232, right, in the segment by name update, like here it is update. So then the address translation of like this segment by name update, okay, and having the offset of 232 will be giving us the physical address of how much it is. Physical address is starting address of the segment update is, here it is 91376 will be the starting address of the segment by name update, and this will be obtained from the segment table itself. So by adding 91376 with the offset or the byte number of 232, I can obtain the physical address 91608. Okay, according to this particular diagram, like as I've shown, by taking simple example of only the data segment. Okay, right? Like say this particular segment is been elaborated, right, or expanded, right, or zoomed, and you can have this particular structure where we have the division of this data segment having starting address of 2000, and if the offset is 50, then I can access 2050 location. Okay. Yeah, so after this, the third approach to deal or to implement the non-contiguous memory allocation is segmentation with paging. Okay, so the heading for this figure is segmentation with paging. So what is the main difference of this particular figure when compared to this figure? Okay, like in this figure, this is dealing with the segmentation where the program or a process will be divided into so many parts where each part is called as a segment, having their name, having their size, and the starting address of the segment. So, but in this, the heading is segmentation with paging. Okay, so what is the main difference? Like say by seeing the figure itself is like again here we have a process by name queue, and this queue is been divided into like these segments by name main, search segment, database segment, stack segment, and update segment. Along with that, you do have where each segment is been again subdivided into many fixed size pages. Understand this? So here, this each and every segment is again subdivided into so many fixed size pages and allocated to the each segment. So you can make out the main difference here is again this main segment, right, is again subdivided into fixed size pages. Okay, see that the main segment is again divided into number of pages, and a page table is constructed for each segment. Okay, so we have the page table for main and page table for search and etc. So for each and every segment, you have a page table to be constructed for each segment, and the address of the page table is kept in the segments entry in the segment table. Here you can see it. Suppose if it is not visible, like here you can see it. Yeah, right. Here it is, page table address. So a page table will be constructed for each and every segment, and the address of all the page tables will be maintained in the segments entry in the segment table, as you can see here. Okay, like again, we have similar fields, like we have the name of the segment as well as the size of each and every segment. Along with that, you do have here one more entry where I can maintain the address of the page table for each and every segment. Okay, so what is the concept here is, say this the program or the memory will be divided into variable size segments. Along with that, each and every segment is again divided into fixed size pages as indicated here. Okay, and it's like in this particular case, the address translation for a logical address SI comma BI is now done in two ways. Here we have the let's say 2 steps to be conducted for the logical address to physical address translation. So the first step is entry of the SI, right, is located in the segment table, and the address of it page table is obtained. Okay, so the entry of the segment I is located in the segment table, and from which I can obtain its page table is obtained, right? Where it is? Here it is. So you can obtain the page table address of each and every segment. And second step is the byte number BI or the offset is now split into a pair, right? And that is PSI comma BPI, where PSI is the page number in the segment SI and BPI is the byte number in the page SI. Okay, so to understand this, you can look at this particular figure. Okay, right? So for easy analysis, what these particular statements are saying, okay, simply see this particular figure where we have a process like having so many segments. Again, the segment main has been divided into so many fixed size pages. And so for example, suppose if we look at this individual update segment means, okay, like it do something like this, right? And if I have the, so like zooming of this particular page here means, suppose if the address is 325, right, and if the starting address of this particular page is 300, means this SI will be helping us to find which segment among the bunch of segments, means like among say this 5 number of segments, like I want to access the update segment, means this SI will be giving us the address of this SI segment, means address of update segment. Okay, and this BI is split into PSI and PBI, where this PSI indicates which page in this particular segment. Okay, and in this particular update segment, I want to access this particular page, and this PBI indicates the offset of the byte number, okay, within the page PI. And if I say assume the select starting address as 300, okay, and if the offset is 25, means I can access this particular page, okay, within the segment update. Okay, so we have basically these two processes in the conversion of logical address to physical address, and always the so-called PI, right, or the byte number, right, of segment SI will be divided into PSI and PBI, whereas PSI is indicating in which page is this particular segment, update segment it is, and this PBI is indicating the offset or the byte number within that particular page PI. Okay, so these numerical examples can be easily understood just by seeing this particular figure, where I'll be choosing, let's say, any one segment among these bunch of segments, and again in this update segment, okay, which page I want to access, okay, that will be given by this PSI and PBI. Okay, so